Yo, 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 what's going on? Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's your boy Nelly with Ju-Nel Fashion Boutique. And tonight, it's been on my spirit for a long time to do this video. Uh, for those that don't know me, welcome to Ju-Nel Fashion Boutique Live. Share this video. I'm Nelly, the DTF printer extraordinaire. We've been in the business for about 5 years now. We print DTF, we do UV DTF, we do rhinestones, transfers. We just starting getting into 3D printing. We have an embellishment department by my queen Jules. She does a custom purses with rhinestones and handcrafted dolls, a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But today's topic, we're going to talk about designing with Photopea, okay? Creating gang sheets and stuff like that with Photopea. And for those that don't know what Photopea is a free online open source software. It's like alternative to Photoshop. So if you can't afford Photoshop, but you need to use Photoshop for designing, you can always go to Photopea. You can use it on your browser, or you can also download it on your computer. So let me go ahead and share this live so we can all tap in. So we can tap in, you know what I'm saying? If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can. But like I said, I've been doing DTF printing for about 5 years now, and I get a lot of answers. I mean, not answers. I get a lot of questions about the best way to create design or to send the files. And a lot of people are using Canva, and sometimes Canva doesn't always translate properly to how you want the design to be printed. So that's why I said I was gonna do this video. I know a lot of people can't afford Photoshop. Is always the recommended option, but since a lot of people can't afford Photoshop, we're gonna do this video with Photopea to show you, like, first the way to create a gang sheet. We're gonna start with that. Like, a lot of people want to know how do I create a gang sheet? You know what I'm saying? For us, we use 22 by 16 gang sheet size. So in order to do that, like, I'm gonna show you the simple way. Pretty much a gang sheet is like you're creating a blank canvas, and with that canvas, it has to be transparent background with a certain DPI or 300 DPI, so that way your files are high quality, and then you add your files into the canvas, and then you export it as PNG, and you can send that to your printer. Could be me or could be anybody to get it printed. But if the file's not at the right resolution, it may look good on your phone or on the computer, but when it's time to be printed, there's certain stuff that is not going to translate to the same expectations. So what I have here is Photopea. You could get it. You just go to photopea.com. You download it as an online photo editor, or they also have an option where you can install it into your desktop. So if you're gonna create a gang sheet, you pretty much go to new project. As you can see, they have all these options, right? There's a lot of stuff here that even if you're using on Canva, it's pretty much the same options that will be available, but some people usually don't pay attention to it. So if you're on Canva or any of these software that you use, and you just open up one of these, you want to create, I think you probably go over here. Some people use these options right here. But, these are all the different options they have available, you know what I'm saying? But Let me see. Well, we're gonna stick to photo, for example. If you see this page right here and you say, oh, it looked like it's gonna be a good size. See for photos, you see how they gave it to you. It says it's supposed to be in inches over here. See, so it can translate. When you create a new project to create a gang sheet, pay attention to the dimensions over here. Okay. For my gang sheet size, I use 22 by 16. So uh, some people for some reason like to work vertically. But what is vertical or horizontal? The dimension gotta be like the width is 22 and the height is 16. And background, you have to pay attention to the background option. Always use transparent background. This option over here, it would be best if they had a CMYK, but they don't have a CMYK option. But you could just leave it as RGB. So RGB is pretty much using red, green, and I think blue to create the colors. But even with that, it's going to have to translate to CMYK when it's printed. So some colors may not even match properly because they're using the RGB, which RGB is for screens, like to be displayed on your phone. It's not for printed. So, but chances are, you still will get a good color. So to create a gang sheet, you just set your dimension in inches. If you see it in pixels, see, this is a pixel size. You know what I'm saying? So if you see a low pixel, that means your dimension is going to be very low. If you see a low pixel over here, a low DPI, pretty much it's telling you there's 300 pixels in every inch. That's what that 300 DPI is. So if you see an image that's online and it says it's 72, like if you open up the image and you look at the information says it's 72 pixels, most likely it's going to be a low resolution image. And images that's like on Canva is usually at 72 or like 96 because it's not made for printing. It is made to be used on the screen, so the image is smaller, so that way it can be processed faster. So this, if I were to change this number here, 300 to 72, you're gonna see the dimensions up here is gonna change also. Well, it should change, but when you export it, it's definitely going to change. But basically, we're just setting it up, so that's why it doesn't do it automatically. But pretty much 22, the main settings is 22 by 16. If you're going to create a gang sheet for me, it's 22 by 16 at 300 DPI. And you can give this a title and call it gang sheet, and it'll be saved as a blank canvas, and whenever you're ready to create a new gang sheet, it's going to be ready for you. You just click create, and it's going to give you a blank canvas. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people is new and don't understand what this checkered background is. These little squares is pretty much considered, it's called pixels and stuff. You know what I'm saying? If an image has low resolution, this picture is going to be a lot bigger. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much it tell you it takes a lot of pixels. You can look at the image size. It tell you how many pixels it has. You could change that to inches to make sure that you know what I mean, stuff like that. There's a lot of information that you can find with Photopea to make sure that your design is going to be at the size that you want. Because sometimes I get images that people just create on their phone. It may look big on your phone, but you wasn't paying attention to the pixel size. And then when I open it up, it's like 1 inches. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a design that's opens up at 1 inches and you expect it to be 12 inches, it's gonna be pixelated. It's like you taking the small rubber band here and you're trying to stretch it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just sending the rubber band, a big nice rubber band at the size it's supposed to be. You're trying to stretch a little small rubber band, but you expect it to wrapped around a big item, wait till you know you're gonna snap. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't fit. So this pretty much the basics of creating a gang sheet. You know what I'm saying? Now you're ready to just add your images to this sheet. Like I said, with Photopea, like I said, you don't need a subscription or anything like that. You got to create an account, and it's free. And you just go to open. Trying to see. All right. Yeah, so just find wherever you keep your designs. See, when the design is open, you see kind of zoom in. This design, let me see, if you click up here, it tell you all the details of it, tell you how many inches it is when it open up, tell you the CMYK color code, all the other stuff. But since we're creating a gang sheet, all we gotta do is go to the little arrow here and drag it over to the sheet, and you can slide it to the side. Now, once you click it, see, it tells you the dimensions of where it's at right now. You see right now it's about 6.7 inches. So you can slide it to how big you want it. You want it about 5. So in this business, you have to know how big you want the design on a shirt. That's not the printer's job to figure out how big that design is supposed to be. You're the one that's creating the shirt. So you're the one that's supposed to know, hey, I want this design to be 10 inches wide on my shirt, 11 inches wide, or 12 inches wide. There's a lot of stuff that I do as a courtesy for people, and sometimes I feel like I'm enabling them and learning, but theoretically, it's not my job to figure out how big you want that design on a shirt. So sometimes you gotta get a ruler and measure the shirt and see what size will best fit. So if you're creating this gang sheet and it's for like a medium shirt and you want that design, let's say 10 and a half, as you can see, as you're stretching it out, you could tell, it tells you right here at the bottom by what the arrow, how big that design is. So this design is 10 by 12. And if you want to add 2, you just go over here, you right click, and you duplicate that. And then now you can slide the other one over. So now you have 2 designs within that sheet, and you can always independently resize if you have one small and one medium shirt, stuff like that. But if you want to add a couple small ones too, you could take that one design and you could duplicate this one more time, and you take this, you could over here rotate. So yeah, so if anybody looking for a better option outside of Canva, because Canva is not for designing. I'm gonna say it again. Canva is not for designing. It's not for creating stuff to be printed. So if you're using Canva and your files are not coming out sharp, or with Canva you have to pay for the Pro in order to be exported with the transparent background. So you're doing extra work. And if you try to send this to if you try to use Remove BG to remove a background with this design like this, it's going to be all pixelated, because even Remove BG doesn't give you a high resolution image. So that's why I recommend you guys use Photopea. And with Photopea, you can export this and send it to your printer. It's going to be high resolution. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any questions, you know what I'm saying, feel free to post it in the comment. You know what I mean? And then I'll do the best to answer any question you have. So like this right here, you can add a couple more here, or if you go since it's within the 12 by 22, you can fill it up if you need some extra stuff. And I usually use export as PNG. My mouse is a little slow responding. So once you do, you click the export, it'll tell you, the pixel, but you can switch it here in inches to make sure it's at the whole gang sheet is at the inches that you want, and you click save. And then boom, just like that, it'll download it for you. And then guess what? You can open the file, and it's that easy to create a gang sheet. You know what I'm saying? And now the gang sheet, when you open the gang sheet, you say it's black like this, that means it's transparent background. You know what I'm saying? If it had a white background, then it would not be good for printing, because that's how it would be printed. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that easy to create a gang sheet. Okay, it's not that hard. So if you want to create something from scratch, you can always use the same layout. You know what I'm saying? You can use the same layout. You just start, let's you want to start typing the text. See, what there you got to check and see how big your text is going to be. If not, you're going to start typing real slow. All right, we're going to start a design. It started a little small, so you just click this and you got basically to stretch it out. Because of the sheet being so big, that's why when you first start, the word was so small. So, but you can get it resized by going over here and stretching the different, ends and stuff like that. And you can go over here and pick different fonts. They got some cool fonts in here. I believe this should also pick out the fonts you have in your computer too. So let me see if they have my main font. It's got a lot of fonts. There's a lot of new fonts I haven't seen either. All right, I'm trying to find this one font that I usually use. I think it's King George or some shit like that. All right, yeah. So I'm going to stick with this font right here. As you can see, you can create a design. Also, if you're going to have more than one word, let's say I want to just put Ju-Nel Fashion Boutique. Pay attention to the alignment. You can highlight everything and do the center alignment. See, now it lines everything up, down the center. So everything's going to be stacked up on top of each other. I know in Photoshop they also have a feature to kind of adjust the spacing in between, but I don't see it on here. Let me see, it might have it. So just tell you how big the image is right now, 8.5. And this X and Y, that's just pretty much where it's at on the screen. And to keep the ratio, if you want to adjust it, you know what I'm saying? It'll adjust it. Let's see. You go over here. If you click this chain here, you could adjust it without keeping the ratio. You see how you could slide it in different directions. And then go back, and it's going to keep it at the, different ratios, okay? Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna go in depth into all the stuff that you can do. I just want to let you guys know this is the option. If you want to design, you don't have Photoshop. Instead of playing with your phone and creating these low quality images, do your customer a favor by learning Photopea or Photoshop and exporting the file at the best quality so you can have better looking shirts. The printer only going to print the design with the information that you send it. It reads all. Every design has a lot of information in the background that you don't think about. Right? You know what I'm saying? Just because you see a design here, it doesn't mean you're not even thinking about the pixel size or anything like that. But the computer knows all this stuff. These are all information that's in the design that the computer knows. Software reads all that stuff when it's printing. Even the color code, this color right here, it knows exactly what color it is. If you want to change this color, there's different options to do that. Let me see. You want to change the colors. Let me see. In Photoshop, I usually use. I'm still learning this software also, so there's a lot of options. Yeah, you got. Yeah, I go to the blend option. They hide different stuff in different areas in the Photoshop. So the blend option, you can use the stroke, and you change the color of the stroke right here. And you pick, let's say, red, and you click OK. Now you gotta adjust the pixel to how much. So if you want to do it on the outside, but you want to fill the inside, change the whole design color, you can do it like that too. It change a whole different color. If you want to do center, you're pretty much gonna adjust it just from the center edge. Just try to slide it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to adjust it from the center edge, you want to adjust it from the inside or from the outside. It all depends on the different looks. The opacity got to stay at 100 because if it's low opacity, that means it's going to be very thin. You're not going to be able to see it. Opacity is the transparency of the image. You know what I'm saying? If you are doing a design for let's say UV, opacity got to be high. If not, it's going to print it as white. That's just another tip. You can also add drop shadow. There's all kinds of stuff. Pretty much everything that you do in Photoshop, you can do with this design, with this software here. So I recommend using this software instead of wasting time with Canva. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just let me know. I can always try to help you to better understand, but pixels makes a difference. 300 DPI is the recommended DPI. So if you have an image and the DPI is at 72, it's a low resolution. In fact, let me open up a design. I'm going to create a new page so you can see. Like right now at 22 by 16, I'm gonna switch this to 72 pixels so you can see the difference. All right. If you look at, let me see, go here and look at the image size. What's that, 99 inches? I don't know why it's at 99 inches, but let me, yeah, I don't know why it switched it to 99 inches. I guess when you switch the DPI to 72, that's how many inches the image is going to open up to. That's why everything got to be at the right dimension. So if you do a 22 by 12 at 72, and you create a new one, you see the different sizes. You know what I'm saying? When it's not 22 by 22 by 16. Let me edit this 22 by 16. If you see down here, the dimension size is a lot smaller than this one. That's 300 DPI compared to 72 DPI. The file size is different. You know what I'm saying? At 100% zoom is showing 16% compared to this one. To get the same 100%, you got to zoom in a lot more. So it's it's pretty much how it is, man. Just check out Photopea. It's a free online editor, which you can. I believe they have an app also. You can try the app, and let me know what you think, man. If you have any questions, just put it in the comment. And if you want me to do another video discussing another software or another option, yeah, and we can always do that. Let me see what else. There was something else I wanted to talk about. So DTF printing is pretty much, it uses 4 colors: CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. That's what CMYK is, and it converts it to, it converts your RGB design into CMYK. So if you're gonna create something, the color has to be in CMYK. So if you need to design something and you want the color to be correctly printed, you have to go over here, and let's say you got something that's going to be orange. You got to know the CMYK code for orange. As you can see, even in orange, there's a whole bunch of different colors. There's a whole bunch of different colors for orange. So you got to know which color orange you want. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of orange options. So once you figure out what color option you want for orange, then you take that code. Like this one is F7941D. F7941D. So if I'm going to change this color, I can go, I could do the blend option, go to stroke. And once that over here, I can type that F7941D. I think that's what it was. Let me double check, yeah, my computer a little slow, so yeah, see how it adjusts it from red and then boom. Now you can use that stroke. It's like a little lagging. So now when this gets printed, it's gonna print it at that color you want. If you want to change the whole thing, let me see, inside, change the whole thing. If you fill the whole design up, or I could have used what's called it, a bucket tool. Got eraser tool. Oh yeah. I just remember another option I wanted to use. Okay, yeah. So this is how you change the color. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Boom. All right. This is the main. This is gonna be the main thing that people be having issues with. That's one of the things I want to check out. I want to cover real quick. Um, Removing the background. Okay. All right. I didn't know Amazon sell that much oranges, but I'm trying to find an image real quick. I know some of y'all be finding this image on the internet, and you're like, "Hey, I need an orange. I got this orange, but I need the background removed. Save it as PNG. I mean a JPEG. This orange save as JPEG. All right, boom. Now you wanna import the orange. You import the orange here. You got this orange. You want to remove the background. Photopea is very easy to do that. Okay. Easiest option. Background eraser. Click it. No, magic eraser. My bad. Use magic eraser. When you select magic eraser, you got a tolerance over here. I usually do about 60 or 70. The higher the tolerance, the closer it's gonna go to the edge of the design, and you just pretty much click the screen and boom, it will remove whatever color that you chose. If you want to remove this color, and they'll do it until you get to the section. You know what I'm saying? If you so you have to be careful which color that you click. You can always undo all this stuff over here. If you click something that you didn't want, that's pretty much how you do it. But instead of using remove BG, you can come over here, Photopea, import the image, and use magic eraser, and you just select the tolerance. Like if I had this tolerance at 20, for example, I click it, you see it doesn't do as much. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I undo this, have the tolerance at 40, even if I click on the same spot, it's still, 40 not too bad, but at the edging, you could tell there's still a little bit, there's a certain section on the edging that is still, so like you can still see it. All right, now let's undo that. We're gonna go back to Magic Eraser, and we're gonna go 6. I usually like 60, 60, 70, and then boom. You could do hit another click, and if you wanna to manually like to get it close to that bottom edge, you probably go do about 30 over here, and then just like that. You know what I'm saying? You get a cleaner edge, and also all these gaps that you see in this image, these are pixels that is not being used within the image. So I recommend, to zoom. So right now it's not close to the edge. I mean, there's still some stuff left. So you could use that. Use erase. Use this little thing here. Use a slider. Add more pixel to it. You just go around the edge. That's if there's anything that was missing that it'll be able to pick up. See how it's close on this edge, but that edge is still, this line is not sharp on it. I mean, there's a debris here that it's not picking up. To do that, sometimes I do this right here. So yeah, so you see an outside stroke will tell you where the extra little stroke is. That see is right here in that corner. And you can use the eraser and hit that corner. And now, everything should be close to the edge, and you can go back and remove that stroke. When you do that, and then boom, now is everything close to the edge, and now you can zoom to fill in the whole design. And also delete the extra blank space. You don't need all that extra blank space, that wasted pixel. And as you can see, it tell you how big the design is right now, 12 inches by 11 inches. So you already know it's a pretty big design. So if that's around the size you need it, it's going to be printed just how you see it. But if this was like 5 inches and you want it to be printed at 12 inches, then we're going to have a problem. But the image is going to need to be stretched. So you can always resize it over here. If you see the DPI for this is at 72, because it's an image you find online. You can adjust the DPI here to give it more color. I mean, more resolution. As you can see how it zoom in. When you increase the DPI, it makes the image bigger. You see the numbers bigger here. It adds more pixels to the image. That's gonna make the resolution a lot sharper. You know what I'm saying? So now you see how by increasing the resolution, you see how bigger and brighter the image, you will see it a lot sharper. And then just pretty much just export it. Like my mouse is a little slow, so as long as you export it PNG, it's gonna be good to go. And then when you open it up, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? See, I went a little bit too deep with the background eraser. So what happened when you use 60, but you can go 50, you get closer to the edge because it was a little bit of light, like this from the lightness that was on this edge. That's why it went deeper like that. So it's little stuff you gotta pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? See, you can see it right here too, but this is just an example, so I ain't tripping about it. All right. Yeah, so yeah. I just want to show y'all how easy it is to erase the background. So you don't have to do all this extra stuff, remove BG and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? In fact, let me go to remove BG to show you guys, okay, what happens when you try to because a lot of people be using remove BG and it irks me, but I can't tell folks nothing, but it really irks me when I see design being sent with remove BG. So same image, you use remove BG to remove the background. Okay, it's gonna remove the background and download. You see, free 612 by 402 pixels. We're gonna see how big it is when you open it up. 612 by 402 for free. So even if you want a good resolution, you gotta pay. All right. Just showing you. Remove BG 212 kilobits. When you see a file size in the kilobits, it's not a good resolution. It's gonna give you a little pixelated edge. All right. So now we're gonna take that same image and we're gonna open it in Photoshop and we're gonna dissect it to see what's the actual size is gonna be. But you see how it is. This is the size that it opens up to 612 pixels, and let me show you what that translates to. All right, if you're trying to resize it, 4.9 inches. 4.9 inches, okay? That's what 612 pixels open up to. So if you try to send it to get printed, it's gonna, if you send me this file like this, it's gonna be 5 inches wide. And then if you expect it to be 12 inches and I resize this like this, it's not gonna be. See, as I resize it, see it's getting blurry. Because there's not enough pixels in this image. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough pixels. Now let's look at the image information. All right, see, 72 pixels per inch. Because I did a little adjustment, that's why it's at 85. But what is this? 300 DPI. You see, I want it to be 12 inches, 300 DPI. You see, boom, zoom in. See, you see how big it is at 300? This is how many pixels is in there now compared to 612. Just by switching the DPI to 300. So to fit the area, now you see how big it is now to fit the area? A lot more pixels, sharper. You know what I'm saying? Because you remove BG, they're still gonna have a little pixelated edge, but you know, you're still gonna see this little edge right here. It's gonna still be a little blurry because of the low resolution from remove BG. Okay, just keep that in mind. You don't see it, but every time you export a file with remove BG, it has this little gap, and this is gonna be printed gray because you don't see it, but it's there. I don't want y'all to know that stuff, so that way, you know, your expectations, reality and expectations, you know what I'm saying? You might expect the sharp edges because you look on your phone, but when they print it, you're like, what's all this gray stuff at the edge? It's because you use this website to remove just the background, and it give you a low resolution image. And then if it's low, you send in low resolution, you're gonna get low resolution file. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, you know, what I got for y'all today. I'm not gonna be rambling on all day or night. I just wanted to pop up and, you know, give you guys some insight, some of the stuff to pay attention to. Like I said, I recommend using Photopea to remove background instead of Canva, and always create your gang sheet. You know what I'm saying? 300 DPI, 12 by 20, 22 by 16 gang sheet for me, but always 300 DPI if you want a high resolution. If you see your resolution is in the hundreds, it's gonna be a small file. If you get 400 KB file, pretty much you have like a nickel size file in your hand. So if you want your file to be $1 worth or $10 worth, you have big money expectation, and you open the file, it's in KB, then your quality ain't gonna be good. So if your pixel size is not in 1,000, at least 3,000 by 3,000. At least 3,000 by 3,000, 2,500 or something like that. 2,500 by 2,500, that's a good size file. But if you are out here in 600 KBs, 300 KBs, you're not going to get a good resolution file. I'm sorry. I can't. This printing DTF is not a miracle thing. It has rules that got to be applied to it. And when the rules are applied, the outcome is perfect. But if you don't apply the correct rules, you can't expect the proper outcome. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I'll tap in again. And, you know, if you guys like this video, I'll make another one. If not, it was nice not chatting with you because ain't nobody here. I'm just talking to myself anyway. So If you seen this video later on today, give it a like. Tomorrow or whenever you catch the video, give it a like so at least I know I wasn't talking to myself. All right. Peace.